Hey guys, it's Cece, and today I'm here to talk about all of my April favorites. I started filming this, immediately got something in my eye, and marked up my glasses. So that's how today's going. Okay, so this video, I feel like everything you need to know is right there in the title. I'm going to talk about all of my favorite things from the month of April that I've been keeping track of throughout the month. This could be a variety of things like YouTube videos, YouTube channels, movies, events in my life, clothing, all of that kind of thing. And so let's just get started. So I really wanted to start with a personal accomplishment that was a favorite in April. You may have heard me talking over the past year or so about the fact that I've had to be writing a thesis. I started it in fall, and in April, I defended my thesis and I passed. It was basically the most nervous I have ever been in my entire life, and leading up to it, I was developing nervous habits that I have never experienced ever in the history of me being anxious about going into doing things. Presentations are not my strong suit. I do best when I'm alone in a room with a camera, but I did it, I got through it, and maybe I'll make a video about it if maybe people are interested. I'm not sure. I might also be super done talking about it for a while, but if you were curious, the title of my thesis as I defended it was When Women Write Loudly, U.S. Feminist Fiction as Commentary and Consciousness-Raising Tools. It was basically a timeline of feminist fiction over 3 decades, the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and how they talked back to the politics of their time. That's all I'll cover here, except I will tell you what I wrote about, because I have all of them here. In the 1970s, I wrote about The Women's Room by Marilyn. I also wrote about Fear of Flying by Jong. In the 80s, I wrote about The Color Purple by Alice Walker, which is one of my all-time favorite books. And for the 1990s, I wrote about the movie Thelma and Louise. So there you go. Those are the things I wrote about in my honors thesis. It was an English honors thesis, but I'm a women's and gender studies minor, so it was kind of comboed up. I defended my thesis, and I passed. And that is possibly one of my favorite things ever, not just in April. Okay, so now we get into some of the fun stuff. One of my favorite videos that I watched in the month of April was the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them Honest trailer. Now, I haven't talked a ton about Fantastic Beasts on this channel, namely because I didn't really like Fantastic Beasts. I didn't hate it, but I left the theater feeling meh, and it's only grown more meh with time. However, this honest trailer captured exactly my feelings about the movie. Like, exactly. I mean, it left out some of, like, the deeper social commentary stuff that I was annoyed with about the movie, but I feel like this video summed up the reasons that I just thought Fantastic Beasts was kind of mediocre, and when I watched it, I was in hysterics. I loved this video. Another one of my favorite videos is a video that Marinez from My Name is Marinez did, and it was called Problematic. Basically, the content of the video was just talking about what the word problematic means, if it's overused, how we apply it to certain things, and she also discussed the concept of a problematic favorite and what that meant to her, and she called out some of her problematic faves. Marinez has a great channel. I love so many of her videos, and I thought that this was a really useful video for the time period that we're at, especially in the midst of discussing more problematic books. I feel like it broke down the term really well. Marinez did a great job, and this video bolstered me, and I loved watching it. The last video that I have to discuss has to do with my shirt, and that is The Last Jedi trailer. Oh my god, The Last Jedi trailer. You may have noticed, I like Star Wars. I have always liked Star Wars. When I was like a teeny tiny baby, my parents would sit me down and I would just watch Star Wars on repeat. It has always been with me, and so every time we get new information about a new Star Wars movie, I kind of lose my chill for days at a time. I've talked about the fact that Rey means a great deal to me as a lady in Star Wars who takes on the roles that I, as a lady Star Wars lover, have always wanted a lady to have. But beyond that, so many other favorites were in the trailer. I was so happy about it. Luke Skywalker started saying words and my heart stopped. And literally when the trailer ended, I watched it with Janelle. The trailer ended, she put down her phone, I got down on the floor and laid down on my back for like 5 minutes and just tried to breathe before I could do anything. And Janelle was just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna let this happen. It's got me even more excited than I already was. I'm so hopeful that this is going to be an amazing new installment of Star Wars. I'm so happy. The next thing that I want to talk about is actually a YouTube channel, and that is Shay Lindsay. I think that's how you say the channel name. She does a lot of videos that are just kind of discussions about media videos, which is something I have been very into lately. The first video of hers that was recommended to me was actually in the comments of a video I did called Queer Media Recommendations, and the video that was recommended was her 45-minute video essay on why Rent isn't so great. It was a great breakdown, and I personally like Rent, and I have in the past, even knowing that there were some problems, but after watching that video, becoming aware of a lot more that I'd never even considered. It was really well put together and intelligent, and so I've started watching more and more of her videos. I've watched a lot of her, like, loose canon videos where she discusses how characters have changed in different iterations over time. Those are really interesting. I watched one about the Wicked Witch of the West that was super fascinating. So yeah, I've slowly just been watching her videos. I think that they are really fantastic and excellent, and I have been looking for more channels that specifically do, like, intelligent, like, I don't know, academic almost media discussions. I've been really into them lately. So if you have channels that do that, like break down movies and TV shows in really interesting ways, please let me know what some of those are down in the comments below, because I've been trying to find these channels. I don't know why I've suddenly grown so obsessed. Perhaps it's because I haven't watched a behind the scenes about a movie I love in a long time, and I'm feeling the need to know more about movies again. Maybe that's what's happening as I grow closer to graduation, is that suddenly my love for movies and knowing about them is coming back to me. Speaking of movies, and speaking of my queer media recommendations video, I rewatched in April But I'm a Cheerleader. This is looking very shiny, so I'm just gonna put up a poster here. But I'm a Cheerleader is a movie that came out in the 1990s, and it's about ladies loving ladies. It's one of the more famous ones. This one is really campy and hilarious and over the top, but fabulous and so funny and such a great romance. Oh. I hadn't watched it in a couple of years, and I'm actually writing a final paper about it and a couple of other movies, so I don't know, rewatching this was a joy. I immediately wanted to rewatch it again because I think it is such a good time. In the vein of writing about what I'm a cheerleader for a final paper, I just barely watched a movie called The Incredibly True Adventure of Two Girls in Love. This one also came out in the 1990s. It is also about ladies who love ladies. My final paper is about queer female identity in the 1990s. That's where I'm going with this, and it's all about film. Anyway, this is very similar in tone and content to But I'm a Cheerleader, so if you've already watched that and loved it, I do recommend this, even though it's incredibly hard to get a copy of. Sorry for recommending a movie that you're gonna have a hard time getting. This is about two girls in high school, and one of them is like an out lesbian. She lives with her aunt who's a lesbian, who lives with her partner. Like, it's just this big queer lady house, and she meets this other girl, and they start to fall for each other. It's super, super great. It talks about class in a really interesting way. There are little nuances where they discuss race in a cool way. It was super happy and kind of cheesy, but adorable, and exactly the kind of queer lady content that I am here for, and I really, really liked it, and I think I'll be watching it again in the future because it was really great. The next couple things I want to talk about are both clothes. The first one is this cropped shirt from Forever 21. I actually wore it recently in a video. It is so cute, and it fits me in such a nice way. I really like cropped shirts. They just fit my body really nicely. I'm incredibly short, and so anytime I can wear something high-waisted and cropped, it's good because it makes me look taller than I am. But I just really love the dark floral print that's on this shirt, and I've worn it a lot of times already. I actually wore this when I was defending my thesis. Maybe this has become my new lucky shirt. The other shirt I want to talk about is the one that I'm wearing. So this is a shirt that I got from Target. Target has really been upping their game in terms of screen printed t-shirts and tank tops. I have bought a lot of shirts from Target recently. This is another one of those shirts that fits me really nicely. I wear a grand total of like 3 styles of shirt. I wear button-downs, cropped shirts, and these like muscle tanks. That's my wardrobe. Really been on the lookout for a Star Wars shirt that had some art from like the original movies on it. I've wanted a more classic looking shirt because I have a tank top. There's no art on it. It's just a Star Wars, and that wasn't quite doing it for me. So I found this at Target, and I was like, I never could have predicted that Target would be the store that was selling the shirt I wanted all this time. Fits me really, really nice. I love the art on the front, and it just makes me go back to my days of watching A New Hope on repeat forever and ever and ever. The last clothing item I want to talk about is actually jewelry, and it is these two chokers. They are both from Forever 21. They came as part of a set. So there's this one, which I recently wore in a video about Harry Potter. It's just a doubled up set. There's a chain, and then there's this, like, faux leather band, I guess, with a little gem on it. This fits really nicely, and the other one that I haven't worn yet is this one. It's just a nice ribbon with a little bit of satin on it, and I don't know. I have never been a choker person. I'm way behind the times on finally purchasing a choker, but I really, really liked both of these. And the last thing that I want to talk about is actually a thing that I forgot to mention in my last favorites video, and it is a Funko Pop. That is Yakko from the Animaniacs. So there are, in fact, Animaniacs Funko Pops. Can we all just take a minute and acknowledge how great that is? But the only one I've purchased so far is Yakko. Obviously, eventually I will get Wacko and Dot. How cute is Yakko with his oversized pants and the little belt? He is so cute. I also bought an Animaniacs printed shirt in March. It was weirdly an Animaniacs themed month. I've purchased a weird number of like nostalgic items in the past month, perhaps because I am moving towards graduation and so I am reverting to a childlike sense of self. But I bought like a Lion King shirt, I bought my Animaniacs shirt, I got my Scooby-Doo shirt and started wearing it for the first time. I got Yakko. Huh. This is a worrisome trend. Anyway, there you go. Those are all of my favorite things from the month of April. I hope that you enjoyed seeing all of the stuff that I loved and that I was continuing to love in the month of April and that I will continue to love onwards into May. What are some of your favorite things that you saw or read or did or purchased in the month of April? Let me know those in the comments below and let me know what you thought of my favorites. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!